Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. It might not seem like it's time to talk some wrestling, but the WWE calendar begs to differ as we approach what amounts to the U.S. Open of the Professional Wrestling Tour. That chance for mere mid-carders and other hopefuls to seize an opportunity and a briefcase, which has an opportunity inside of it, and hope, perchance to dream, of having a shot at a world championship at a time and place of their choosing, or, let's be honest, whenever the creative team decides to fling them out there. That's right, it's time for episode 208, the 2025 Money in the Bank preview. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who can't quite spare the money from his steak budget to get a legit Money in the Bank briefcase. He has been my partner in Idiocy for over 2 decades and is busy making his own customized Money in the Bank lunchbox. I give you the man they call Tim.
What's up?
God.
Stand up and say, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? People over there, what's up? If you feel me, stand up and say, what's up? 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 You can get with this, or you can get with that. You better come get with this, because this is where it's at. What's up? What's up?
Are we there yet?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Greetings and salutations. That is our truce entrance, ladies and gentlemen.
I have never been that close to just basically like hitting the gong on one of your intros.
Like, dear God, stop it. Just stop it.
We've got to be done with this, surely. Nope, he's still going. Okay. Wow.
I be skipping and jumping. Never mind.
Thank you. Please. We get the point. We know what's up.
Oh my God. This is the entrance music this man has had for the better part of 17 years, ladies and gentlemen. But we will touch on that in a moment. Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
I'm as confused as a baby.
I do declare.
To quote Buford T. Justice.
Oh my
Once
God.
again, you have flummoxed me in the most flummoxing of flummoxes.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. And yourself, sir?
After a sip of bourbon, I'm doing wonderful.
Doing
Yes.
wonderful. I agree.
But yes, indeed. I have looking forward to this show. We're on the precipice, if you will, of the summer classic known as, or the early summer classic.
I was going to say
the
the summer classic is really SummerSlam.
That is SummerSlam.
This is like the late spring, early summer. We have to have something here.
And here in Chicago, it is late spring because somehow we're still in the 50s. So,
yeah, it's been rather chilly here in Maine. I've been stubbornly putting the top down on the Jeep and just riding with the heater on because I'm like, damn it, there's sunshine out.
Uncle Todd looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber when he's on the moped with the snot coming out of his nose. But it's like, damn it, I'm riding with the top down.
You're correct.
On principle.
You are correct. Oh, well, sir, before we get into Money in the Bank, though, we do have, it's not really a Week in Geek item, but it is something that needs to be addressed, and it is wrestling-oriented. So what do we got here, sir?
Well, actually, let me please, if I may. I know I've just done the...
if you may, if you will.
I know I've already done walk-in entrance, but I have to read this from Uncle Todd's brain to your ears, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
I'm just trying to find it. Hold on. Give me a moment here.
I'm kind of scared because I very rarely remember anything that we text.
So let's see. Send me this.
I could send you this, or I could send you that.
Okay, so I get an article from Uncle Todd at 12:51 on Sunday with this, and you may need to bleep me out on this one, but I will read this in Christopher Walken voice. What the shit? And the article is R-Truth reveals WWE release after 17 years with the company.
Yeah.
And my reaction is I second that. Why the hell wouldn't they renew him in a Legends deal or something? This is odd. So,
well, as it turns out, so his deal was expiring, and this seems to be a current thing that is going on. We already heard about this with Shotzi, how WWE was not going to release her deal, which then she's popping up in this round too, and people are like, oh my gosh, and Shotzi is gone. I'm like, dude, that's such old news. That was months ago.
Yeah.
And hang on a second. Here comes the pre-calc scholar.
Jeez, there wasn't even a hint of trying to sneak up on
wait a
you.
minute. She looks chagrined.
Oh.
And upset.
I do declare. Are we going to get a declaration?
What's going on here?
I'm upset at myself right now.
And why?
Just because I need to finish studying for the pre-calc final because I'm not done yet. But I really need to take a shower right now because I physically can't do any more studying with makeup on my face because I'm having like a huge sensory overload right now, and I feel like there's like cement on my face.
If I had a nickel for every time I said almost the exact same thing in college, be a rich man.
Thought it was more cement in your feet.
Joking or not because I'm that exhausted.
All right, well, then I'd suggest go taking a shower and then get back to hitting them books. You got one more day. One more day. That's all you got to do.
Calisthenics is what you need.
That was the best marching practice I've ever seen. That was literally worse than yesterday. I don't think he was paying attention half the time.
Probably not.
We lost half of the class.
How do you lose half the class? They go like the wrong direction. They wind up over in a pond.
No, they didn't.
Did someone steal the baton and lead them off in a wrong direction, like a la Animal House?
At the gymnasium where we all started meeting because we went to practice in the football field where we're all going to be during graduation. Apparently, they directed the other half of the class wrong, and they went all the way around the gymnasium, managed to get themselves backwards, and we had to reorganize the entire line, front to back, because they,
You know, that is kind of funny. And also annoying.
Except they kept us there so long, and people just don't want to march. It's not that they can't, it's just they won't.
Okay. Well, I don't want to delay you anymore because it is getting late because it's 10:01 p.m. here on the East Coast.
And you're watching Perspectives.
Thank you. So why don't you go take your shower?
I really need love and affection right now.
Love, love, love. Affection, affection, affection. Love, love, love. Affection, affection, affection. You've got one more. You've got one more test. You can do this.
You can do it.
I love the teacher. I just hate the subject.
And then when you get into college, you can do like I did and avoid it by taking something like statistics.
What the heck is that?
I don't know, and I don't even remember how I passed the class, but I got my math requirement.
Oh, okay.
You can do it. I believe in you. Even Santa Claus believes in you. Shh. All right. Love you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Kaylin's Scholastic Corner.
I wasn't quite sure how you were going to categorize that, but there you have it.
Anyways, where were we? Oh, yeah, the releases. So apparently Valhalla is another one whose contract is coming up, and is not being renewed. Apparently, the Miz, his contract is coming up, and he deleted a lot of stuff off of his Twitters that has to do with wrestling. So who knows?
Carlito,
again,
who also was absent from Raw last night. He was no longer in the Judgment Day playhouse, penthouse, whatever you call that. And there was no video games.
Took the PS5 with him.
That's right, he did.
Which, you know what? Fine, fair enough. That's a good parting gift, and it actually kind of fits with the whole Judgment Day thing. Like,
I at least wanted someone from Judgment Day to be forlorn about this and make the statement, a la Abe Vigoda, "They screwed up my arrangements."
Yep. Oh my gosh. But this one kind of hurts.
R-Truth is a national treasure, ladies and gentlemen.
Now here and apparently, you know, if you look at the interwebs now, this is the worst thing that has ever happened in WWE, and the wrestlers are going to riot. They're going to be picketing outside of every single event. They are going to stand up as one, and the locker room will empty. And it'll be back to that episode of Raw where apparently Triple H had to like do the show himself and all of this stuff. We're going to be back to that because the internet is just, you know, the internet is the way it answers the question of, you know, we used to have a thing in journalism called "if it bleeds, it leads." How can we make that even worse? The internet, where everyone can post something and it's all about clickbait. Let's face the facts here. Okay. Carlito was, you know, has definitely seen his best days behind him. You know, he's an older wrestler. Shotzi, just for whatever reason, like, I just don't think they saw her in their future plans. Valhalla, she's definitely not coming back with the War Raiders because they don't need someone with antlers. I
mean, she really hasn't been with them in quite some time.
No, it's been a long time. And I think for her, she left for maternity leave. I think she was going to have a kid. I don't think it was an injury. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, again, like in the case of Valhalla and Shotzi, I think it's just a matter of like they just did not see them as part of their plans going forward because they have a ton of talent on the ladies roster right now that is vying for time. And going back to our truth, dude, I love R-Truth as much as anybody, but he is a 53-year-old mid-card wrestler who disappears for great amounts of time. And when he comes back, yeah, it's always fun. But are you really going to give a 53-year-old guy another contract as a wrestler and try and find stuff for him to do to justify that to your bosses? Because let's face it, and apparently, like, this was a call by Paul Levesque. Like, Carlito and R-Truth were his call. This was not somebody else. Like, he made the call. Like, we're not renewing these contracts. I can't disagree with this. Like, you now have to find time to put that guy on TV to justify the money that you're paying them. And you've got bosses who are going to be asking, like, how come you're paying, let's say $100,000 to R-Truth? Are you getting $100,000 out of that guy? And he's taking up time and space that could go to someone else? Because lest we forget, you got an entire developmental, not program, promotion. And you have multiple streams you have the LFG kids, you have all of this ID program, you have all these people that you're cultivating new talent to bring into NXT, that the NXT talent then has to go somewhere. Well, where the hell are they going to go? Like, this is the way this is going to work. As much as I love R-Truth, they've got a lot of people that they're bringing up and that they need to bring up. Look at the main event picture right now. Look at the main event for this coming pay-per-view, and you tell me, you think CM Punk and Sami Zayn are the future of this company for the next 10 years? Maybe Zayn has more mileage left than Punk, but Punk sure as hell don't. You need to find people who are going to get over, that are going to be able to take that spot. You know, Roman Reigns is a part-time guy. Cena is a part-time guy. These are all cats who are in your main event picture. Rollins, I mean, it's not like Rollins is a spring chicken 25-year-old kid. He's been around for a while. Eventually, he's going to hang it up. You just had Kevin Owens, who, you know, again, not a spring chicken. he might not wrestle again. Who knows? Randy Orton is not getting any younger. You need to start cultivating all of the guys that you have down below and moving them up. And do you have the resources and the time to justify having a 53-year-old guy in your, Carlito? And in a way, like, kudos. Well, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So just to jump in on that, I guess the thing that I'm not really clear on, and maybe I'm categorizing him in the wrong way, but given how much he is beloved by the locker room and the reaction he gets from the fans, it feels like the simple thing to do is to just offer him a Legends deal, which I assume would be less money, which I assume would be, I mean, they've done this with folks like Bubba Ray. They've done this with folks like Booker T.
But are those guys actually performing? That's the thing. Like, is it a difference in like,
I mean, Truth doesn't need to perform, right? I mean,
I know, but maybe he wants to. That's the thing. Like, maybe it's an edge thing where he still feels like he wants to go out and wrestle. And granted, at 53, like, if there's one dude out there who can still go, like, not 100% of what he was, but
I mean,
I don't know.
Watching the Cena Truth match on Saturday's main event, part of me wonders if that match was booked that way because of the limitations of Truth. I mean, again, you said it. Truth is 53 years old.
I think it was actually Cena.
You think it was?
I think it's a combination of both, but I think if you have to look at who's got more ring rust, I think you're looking at Cena.
But I'm saying Cena had more offense in that match. Like, he clearly was the dominant.
Well, true, but then who's selling that offense and who's making that offense look good? And Truth actually did make Cena look pretty good. I mean, they made each other look good. It wasn't a one-sided affair.
Oh yeah. But I just got the feeling like Truth wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I was reading too much into certain things during the match, but I just felt like Truth wasn't as mobile as I kind of remember him being, and that sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what I don't understand, because yes, there are, I'm not trying to equate R-Truth to like The Undertaker. Yes, it makes perfect sense for The Undertaker to be on whatever deal he's on. Maybe it's a Legends deal, maybe it's something else. But, given the way we see, like, Road Dogg working backstage, a number of former wrestlers working backstage, to me, it's just like, and maybe it is to your point, maybe Truth wants to still be a character on TV. Maybe he wants to perform in the ring, and this is the way to go. But what's surprising to me is just how much he's beloved by everyone. Why Triple H and management wouldn't find something that is and I don't know what Truth's situation is financially, obviously, but why not find something that is less, financially, because a lot of what you were arguing was the finances behind it. Why am I paying this person this amount of money? Fine, pay him less. Pay him something that is commiserate to his in-ring action and his age and what he is right now, which is he is more of a personality than he is an in-ring talent. And pay him for that. People love to see him, but keep him in the fold. And that's the part that's puzzling to me, is because you see them make this effort with other talent, and why they wouldn't with Truth after 17 years of loyal service and being there is very strange to me.
Well, I think there's a two-way street, because I think that is a thing that you have to look at. Like, so here I just looked up, and who knows how truthful this is. Per reports, the 53-time 24/7 champion, which 53 times, Ron
that's not
Killings,
just the 24/7 belt. That's the 24/7 I-395 South, blah 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 belt. But anyways, go ahead.
Supposedly he was earning $550,000 annually in WWE, significantly above the minimum salary for a main roster superstar, which sits at around $350K a year. This is, I think, from GiveMeSport.com. So who knows how accurate that is?
So cut him in half and give him $250.
Well, no, but the thing is, does Truth want $250, or does he look at it and go, I could go to TNA, I could go to AEW, or I could just go around and do indie gigs and signings and clear more than that for the next year or two, and then I'll come back and do a Legends deal. Like, that is the thing. Like, everybody, it's easy to say, well, how come Triple H didn't make this work? It's like, dude, if Ron's saying, like, I think I can make more than that, and Triple H is like, dude, unless you take like 350, I can't re-sign you.
Yeah.
And if Truth is like, I can get more than that on the indies, I'm sure Triple H is like, dude, then go get it. And you know what? You're always welcome back here. Well, you can get a Legends deal here anytime you're ready. But the Legends deal also, I'm assuming, because we've seen it with some of these other folks who have come back, I'm sure there's restrictions there. Like, hey, you can't go and do this. You can't do this. You're, in a way, like, we are going to restrict. You can't go appear on TNA or AEW or for this promotion or that promotion without checking with us first. Because I think that's the reason why some people have not signed Legends deals, and where it seems like it's a little more friendly now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that, if Truth is on a Legends deal, they're not going to be like, yeah, go wrestle in, Buckwheat, Indiana.
Yeah.
No, we don't want you to do that. Okay, well, they're going to pay me a bunch of money. Well, too bad.
Yeah.
You're under contract with us. So maybe Truth feels like he's got a year or two on, making a few more bookings, making a few more dollars. And that's the thing. Like, I look at this, like, there's a quick reaction of grabbing the pitchforks and the torches here for, Triple H and, Paul Levesque for doing this. But it's like, well, number one, Paul Levesque has got bosses who are asking for an accounting. And he's also got a very large roster, and he's got a lot of people that he needs to move up. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have to make decisions like this. The other one is, you also have to look at the flip side of that. If the deals are any way that, like, they used to be structured, like the fact that Truth got a match on Saturday night's main event against John Cena probably got him a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, on his way out, I'd say Paul did about as right by Truth as he possibly could, in terms of like, hey, I can give you one more payday. I know you're not going to renew, but hey, let's put you in a match with John Cena. And you know what? Maybe I'll give you a discount on those Ron Cena t-shirts you can take with you to all those indie bookings and, clear some money on. Like, that raised Truth's profile, because before this, let's not forget, it's not like he was on TV every week.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually kind of does him a favor if that's what he wants to do. Yeah, you could say the same about Carlito. Like, Carlito should have been on TV for the past year. What did he do? Instead, he's collecting a paycheck for not having to. He takes like a couple bumps every month, and that's it.
I mean, I will say the thing that surprises, that really surprises me with Carlito was, he came back when they were in Puerto Rico, got a huge pop.
Yep.
And they bring him back, and they don't have him perform in the ring. Like, very little performance in the ring. And I don't understand why, because this guy is someone who can perform in the ring.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just
I mean, I get their TV time is precious and so forth, but it just really surprises me they can't find, a use for him beyond what they had. Now, don't get me wrong, he was hysterical and played great comic relief, as part of Judgment Day. But I'm just trying to understand, like, all those times that it was like Finn Balor, and I'm trying to remember what's Finn's
McDonough.
Like, I get, McDonough's the young guy getting him in there, but it's like, I don't know that I really remember Carlito ever really jumping in and participating in a match. And it's just like, it really boggles the mind. I understand Carlito not being renewed more than I understand Truth.
Yeah. I mean, Carlito's,
because of the fact that he was so underutilized, and I get it. It's like, yeah, like, let's move on to someone who's actually, contributing to the product, whether it be just personality wise or in the ring. And, Carlito, I don't know. I couldn't tell if he's at that point in his career where, he's, he's wrapping up his in-ring time, and so he's focusing more on being a character. I can't tell.
I don't think that's the case, because he went to Puerto Rico and he won a belt there. Like, he's carrying some promotion's belt. So, I mean, he's obviously got enough gas to. Then again, keep in mind, like, I think that you also have to examine, like, okay, what is considered acceptable for a WWE in-ring performer on television, and what's acceptable for an indie promotion. Even if it's the largest indie promotion in Puerto Rico, it's still not the big times. You know what I mean? And what's acceptable for them.
Yeah.
Maybe they just were like, it's just not what we're looking for. I mean, I will, after giving, Triple H a couple pats in the fanny, I will say this, like, yeah, he has not done the best job of booking the mid card for sure. And he's missed plenty of opportunities there and not done with some of the talent. Sure enough. So I don't know. That him not being used is probably as much on Triple H as it is on Carlito. So,
yeah,
whatever. But, it sucks for Truth to go, but it seems like he's doing all right because good old Ron Killings has opened himself an OnlyFans page, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute, but before you go there, do you want to read the bully?
No, we're gonna get to that second because I just want to point this out that that Truth is going to get his money somehow. So Ron Killings is on OnlyFans, and here's the description: "Welcome to my new Twitter blog. Keep in mind, this is OnlyFans. This is not Twitter." He says, "I may not only allow fans, but I am considering haters too." And then in parentheses, Mark Henry, "Feet pics in 30 days, and maybe Big Jimmy." So if you feel like, I don't know how much R-Truth's OnlyFans page is for subscription or what he's taking for tips, but if you want to help Truth out, I mean,
God bless him.
He's continuing the gimmick, which I think is the most important.
Did you see him on SmackDown Friday?
I did not.
He had an exchange with Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and what they're now calling JC Mateo, who is Jeff Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
It is hands down. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the funniest thing he's ever done, but my God, is it hysterical. He just goes off and he's like, somehow gets onto the fact of how large these men are.
Mm-hmm.
And literally as he's walking away, he's like, "Damn, you all big boned." And then he just walks off with this big grin on his face, and they're all looking at him like he's nuts. And I'm like, that is R-Truth. You know what I mean? Like, that is the genius and the beauty and the fun of that character. And and so, an interesting thing that was brought up, you might have mentioned this, is if he were to go back, now he has a history with TNA Impact.
Mm-hmm.
He could go back there 100%. The funny part is, if he goes back to TNA, TNA is in a partnership with WWE. So in a way, he doesn't fully go away. You know what I mean? Like, and this kind of is a segue into something you posted.
There was something I saw on Facebook today that says, tonight, because we're recording this on Tuesday, tonight on NXT, it shows R-Truth. "I'm so happy to be back in the Impact Zone." And Shawn Michaels is in the ring like, "This is not TNA." Because of the partnership. That would be fracking brilliant. But so here, this was, I also spotted this. It comes courtesy of Pro Wrestling and MMA News, but this is from the Busted Open podcast. Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley, joked that if R-Truth ever went to TNA or AEW, quote, he should still think he's in WWE. He added, "Oh my God, he should be getting to the place, telling him every week, hey, where's catering, like, and everything. He's the only one who does not realize he's in a different company." Mark Henry chimed in, telling Truth, "You got to stop saying WWE. You work for AEW now." Truth responded, "Oh man, my bad. Like, they didn't trademark my bad. That was just him being him." I mean, Bully Ray continued with a funny imagined scenario where Truth goes to see Tony Khan, mistaking him for Nick Khan, saying, he walks into Tony's office. He's like, "Hey, Nick, you wanted to talk to me?" And Tony replies, "I'm not Nick, I'm Tony." And Truth responds, "Oh, you like Nick's cousin or something like that?" I love this. And if somehow, like, he could go to TNA, because isn't also TNA, aren't they peripherally associated or kind of a legacy with NWA? Isn't that
they
where
are?
the
Yes,
NWA
like
came
Ron
from?
Killings is the first African American NWA World Heavyweight Champion,
First and only.
First and only, and he won it in TNA Impact. Yes,
Yeah.
So, because that title was their title.
That would be awesome if he went back for that and then somehow snuck onto WWE TV that way to NXT.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe to your point, maybe the pitchforks are coming out way too soon. Like, maybe this is partly a business decision, partly something where Truth wants to keep doing something and WWE doesn't want to run with that, but he can go to a place where he ends up still coming on WWE TV somehow.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be, and it would be very much in the character of R-Truth. So, hey, we are in the bag for our truth. Ron Killings has been. We will continue to use the phrase "a national treasure."
And apparently Rhea Ripley was wearing an R-Truth shirt at
henceforth and hitherto.
Yes.
Because he is just and man, go on cagesidseats.com. There's an article, you'll find it on the front page where, at least for the next day or so, where it links out to what some wrestlers have written about him. Kevin Owens wrote something very heartfelt about Killings. Just everyone across the board just loves this guy. He is just so beloved by the locker room because of how funny he is, how nice he is, how just the man he is. And I have a feeling we will continue to see him. He'll manifest himself in some way, shape, or form. But what a guy who has made a career out of just playing this sort of, kind of not quite on his nut little bit of a goofball, and has those when Friday at SmackDown, but before Solo and JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu rolled up, Killings was having a little discussion with little Jimmy. So it was funny. He was doing his whole thing with his head going, what, don't argue with me. And then it was like, oh, he gets into a discussion with them and finishes it calling him Big Bone. So
supposedly there was we want truth chants on Raw last night.
Yeah, I was watching Raw.
I didn't
last
get a chance
night.
to watch it.
There were, and I love CM Punk. So apparently, in the post show after the cameras went off the air, there was some "We Want Truth" chants, and he gets on the mic and he's like, "How dare you chant the name of someone who's no longer with this company?" and coming from Punk, which is just the absolute irony of that is absolutely hysterical, because as you know, when Punk left and was gone, everyone was chanting his name. And so
love it. Anyways, this one's for you, Truth. May you land on your feet and make a whole bundle of cash on the
What's
Indies.
up?
What's up? I'll tell you what's up. That's what's up.
Good stuff.
All right, time for us to get into our Money in the Bank preview / picks and side bets.
I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 4-card match. If we end up with a 3-hour show, I am looking at the man who's at fault. That's all I'm going to say.
You're mighty fracking aggressive for 10:25 p.m. on a Tuesday.
And you're watching Perspectives.
My gosh, did that coffee enema really take hold?
A little bit.
Did you get a few grounds up there? You could get you're creating a pearl in your hindquarter oyster regions.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
I don't want that pearl. I'm just saying.
Oh, you do. I'm going to ship it to you. FedEx it over to you.
All right. Before this goes any further,
you started it, but you don't want to finish it, do you?
Oh, I kind of do, but at the same time, this is only going to go to bad places.
Ah, yes.
Haven't had enough bourbon for this. All right, where are we starting here, sir?
All right, sir. So this is the 2025 Money in the Bank card. Where are we emanating from? I did not check the location. No, so let me take a quick look.
Does anyone really care? Oh, no.
Inglewood, California, the Intuit Dome. The Intuit
Dome.
So that is where we are emanating from this Saturday evening. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to be able to watch it. I may be able to. We might have something going on. I'm not entirely sure. So, but we have only 4 matches. 4 matches to speak of. We have for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Yes.
We have Lyra Valkyria, the reigning defending champion, versus Becky the Man Lynch. We have the Women's 2025 Money in the Bank ladder match that consists of Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vaquer. We have the men's 2025 Money in the Bank ladder match, Solo Sikoa, which I didn't realize Solo qualified for, by the way. So
yeah, he probably didn't either.
Well, fair enough. LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Penta, Andrade, and El Grande Americano, which I was a little puzzled by, but I'm wondering if we're going to get a little CM Punk coming in here and screwing with Seth Rollins in the middle of the match, which I love the idea of Punk being just the spoiler for any of Rollins' plans. I just feel like that's just such a great role for him to play. And then we have the main event, or what I think it will be the main event, which is Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and main event Jey Uso taking on John Plain Jane Cena. and Logan Paul. What
Who's
say
out for
you about
revenge
this card?
for having his dental appliances rearranged by Jey Uso?
Apparently so. Apparently so.
As Bobby the Brain Heaton would say, "Did you see Jey Uso, Logan Paul trying to bite Logan Paul, Jey Uso's foot?" Took me a while to get there, but I
that's exactly what Heenan would have said. That's exactly what he would have said.
Much smoother.
All right. Well, as we ought to do here on the show, we are going to not only pick a winner for these matches, we're going to do star ratings, and we are going to have side bets to go with it as well. So we are going to start. Now, I don't know the order here.
I think
ladies first is well, actually, probably we're going to have a Money in the Bank ladder match first, then the Intercontinental Championship, then the men's. Most likely, if based on history, usually it's ladies first and then men's, and then the main event would be the tag match.
Yeah, that's my guess. Although I don't know, we might get what we think is the main event second to last, because I could see the men's Money in the Bank, because that is the title of the event. I could see that being the main event. Although quite honestly, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match makes almost makes a star, from a star power standpoint, makes a better case as a main event. I will say right here.
Yeah.
Just given the fact that you have Rhea Ripley in there, you have Alexa Bliss from a standpoint of kind of, someone who's been around for quite a while, Roxanne Perez and Julia kind of up and coming, Naomi a second lease on life right now with her new baddie character. And dude, Stephanie Vaquer is like, there's a lot of people, the interwebs are Twitter-pated by the prospect of Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer in the same ring at the same time.
Yep.
There's people who are going to need copious rolls of paper towels to wipe up their drool after that one. I'm looking at this from strictly a wrestling perspective. That looks like a hell of a match, dude. That makes a case of like, that could be the main event, and if it's not, it could steal the show.
Yeah,
very easily.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this order looks good, to at least for us to pick.
Ooh, this is something we've not done.
Ooh, what?
I'll tell you what. Let's do this.
You tell me what.
All right.
What?
Hold on. I'm going to write this in here.
I had 1 Buford, 2 Bufords, 3 Bufords, a Bloody Mary.
Give me 1 second.
All right, I'll do that. Steals the show. Oh,
something you just said spurred something.
Very interesting. Nothing's happening, but I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. Plus, I don't know about this one. Okay.
What do you mean? I thought you'd appreciate this.
Because you're going to find one way to swing this in your favor and just bury me further in the dust. That's what.
All right, just because of your attitude, I'm taking it off the table. I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to pick which match could steal the show for the night.
like that, but I don't think it needs to be 5 points.
Why not? You're so scared of me taking a 5-point.
Oh my gosh.
That's fine. That's fine. Never mind.
You know what? Put it back in.
No. I take it off the table. You poo-pooed it.
Oh, am I gonna have to start calling you Taco now? Tim always chickens out.
I am not chickening out. You had your comments, and I'm moving on. So, not a problem, my friend. Not a problem.
Alrighty.
All right. Why don't we start with the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match? Lyra Valkyria.
Why don't we?
The reigning.
It's Lyra. I'm sorry. It just is. If you had said Becky Lynch, I would have corrected you on that one as well.
Lyra Valkyria. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to drive you nuts. I don't care.
It doesn't drive me nuts. You're the one who sounds.
Pick a winner. Pick a winner.
This was kind of tough for me because I could see the process of having Becky Lynch win it, get her another title, kind of make her like, contender for the new women's Grand Slam because she's already won everything else. And then hold it, and then Lyra having to chase and to win it back. And I can see that. At the same time, I could also see the idea of short term, just her coming in and making Lyra, because they've already, the U.S. title has already switched hands. The money, I say, though, is for Becky to win it, and then Lyra to have to chase for a little while, and then maybe at SummerSlam, maybe they let her hold it as long as Survivor Series or something like that, and then you have Lyra win it back, and that really helps to kind of cement her. Because otherwise, I don't know what you're really doing with Becky Lynch. If you're not bringing her back to make somebody, like, I don't get it. You've got far too much talent on the upswing in the women's division to bring back Becky Lynch for anything other than to make somebody into a main eventer. And
now, keep in mind, one of the stipulations of this match is that if Becky loses, she cannot challenge for the Intercontinental Championship again while Lyra is champion.
I mean, to me, that's just adding a little juice. I don't see that as being like something that sways it because, again, it's a mid-card belt.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
it's the workers' belt, though.
Let's not get too carried away. It's only the belt's been around.
Macho is the IC champ for Stone Cold Steve Austin on the BSR. So I just want to say.
Well, that's nice, but this is like a belt that, again, has like 6 months of history. So let's not get too carried away. It's not like the lineage goes back to, Pat Patterson winning it in the championship tournament in Puerto Rico, i.e. just, here you go, Pat.
That would be South America, sir.
Was it South America? I thought it was Puerto Rico.
South America.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever. We were talking about Carlito. I get confused easily, as you know. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch winning it.
Really? Right.
Yeah, because I think the money is in Lyra chasing and then eventually beating her, and that kind of making her. Because right now they've been very protective of her, and I think for good reason. Letting her get kind of that lengthy reign. Taking the U.S. title off Chelsea didn't damage Chelsea that much because she's already kind of there. So it's that works with Lyra. I think they're trying to build her a little bit more. Again, I think I don't see the sense in bringing back Becky unless she's here to really to make somebody, because otherwise it's like, what the hell are you doing? She's holding a spot that someone else could easily have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Becky Lynch wins it. She hangs on to it for at least a month. Maybe she loses it to SummerSlam. I could see that being good, as depending on what they do between now and then. That could be cool. Actually, we've got another pay-per-view between now and SummerSlam, don't we?
We do.
What the hell is that one?
Let me check.
Can't remember. Because, yeah, SummerSlam is beginning of August, right? So, yeah, I mean, I could see that. Like, if she held it for like 2 months, maybe kind of, ended up becoming part of Rollins' little crew there, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, over 2 months, you could gin this up into much more of a blood feud sort of situation. It's already kind of at a decent bubble. If you could really get it to a nice rolling boil, that'd be nice.
I think it might be. Oh, actually, I think it's going to be. So there's supposed to be Night of Champions, but that's in Riyadh, Saudi
Riyadh.
Arabia.
Yeah.
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Then in July, there is
Evolution,
the women's event of Evolution.
Oh, that's women's only?
That's supposed to be a women's. I thought it was a women's only event. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean,
what's your star rating, man? What's your star rating?
Oh,
Becky Lynch is going to win.
This one's tough because I could see the story unfolding well, but I just don't dig Becky's offense that much. I'm gonna go 3 stars. Keep it a little conservative, but also give it a little upside because Becky does have aura. Lyra does does do pretty well in the ring. I think she's getting better. So, yeah. What do you think, sir?
I'm going to go. So I agree with you. So with the stipulation of if Becky loses, can't challenge for the title again, I think the only plausible outcome is that Becky becomes IC champion.
Yeah.
And she and Lyra continue the feud. And so I think Becky's going to win. But I'm going to give this 3.75. I got to tell you, at Backlash, not the beginning of the match, but from the middle part toward the end, they had these flashes of like the female version of Savage Steamboat, the two of them. Like they had a really compelling match, compelling pinfalls. Like I was locked into it. I thought it was a really, really good match. And so I have high hopes for this. I'm going to go 3.75.
Before we get off of this, so I'm going to keep my finger on the chess piece here.
Oh, good God. Here we go.
Well, no, I'm just curious. No, actually, I'm going to stick with 3 because I gave their match 3.25, and you actually gave it 3.25 last time too for all of your Steamboat macho talk. So you know what? I feel good about it. I feel good about 3.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any side bets you want to put in? And again, there is no loss of points here. It is only gain of a point if you get it correct.
The only thing I could see because Nia's been.
It involves Nia Jax. I love it.
Gosh, yeah, that's it. You remember that old Dennis Leary joke about how he talked about, Stevie Ray Vaughan is gone, but we can't get John Bon Jovi onto a helicopter? Like, that's how I feel about, R-Truth is gone, but Nia Jax still inhabits the roster. Really? Really?
There was a tweet or a comment from a tweet that I sent to Uncle Todd.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me look this up. I want to read
that was effing painful, I tell you, because it really just smacked me in the face with it. Like, seriously, I would take R-Truth dressing up in drag a la Santino Marella, back in the day, rather than Nia Jax. I'm sorry. There's more charisma and less chance of someone being like hobbled afterwards.
Where the heck is it?
There's only one way. Then ship me out of town. If there's only one way, make that way away from you. God. Zero aura. Like a 90% chance someone's getting hurt. And hurt in a not working way.
This is what I texted to Uncle Todd. Just saw this comment on X that you'd appreciate. Releasing R-Truth, but keeping Nia Jax and Natalia.
Natalia, I get.
I do too. I don't agree with
At least
Natalia
Natalia can work without like injuring people all the time.
Yeah.
Nia Jax? Huh?
So, do you have a side bet, sir?
No, because I don't see any interference happening in this. Like, I don't see any obvious.
All right, well,
folks.
I'm going to go with someone. Not going to name who.
Oh, geez,
someone.
Here we go. The nebulous someone.
It's a side bet. Someone will interfere on Becky Lynch's behalf to allow her to win the IC title.
Okay, now I'm not going to hold you to actually putting this in your side bet because I'll respect you just trying to pull one out of your butt on this one. But like, who would have that motivation? Is there anyone even vaguely in the orbit of this?
There could be a newly debuting star that they find a reason to bring in for this. Who knows? Maybe Becky feels because again, the story here is Lyra has beaten her twice. So maybe Becky, in her desperation, feels that she needs to bring someone in. Maybe that someone could be Bayley. Bayley, who was pushed out of WrestleMania. Bayley, who was supposed to be Lyra's partner. Yeah. And Lyra moved on to the next person.
I think it's thin. Yeah, I'm not going to take any of that side bet action.
I'm going to go Bayley will. I'm going to do two bets. One is someone, so I get the point if someone interferes, but I'm going to go Bayley will be the one to interfere on Becky's behalf.
All right, you know what? Just to piss you off, I'm going to take your someone will interfere. I'll take that side bet as well.
All right.
Although I'm racking my brain. The problem is I'm limiting it to Irish wrestlers. And I'm like, why would Sheamus interfere?
McIntyre's resting right now. Why would he show up?
Well, he's Scottish.
Well, and nonetheless, yeah.
You do know they're different countries, correct? All right, yeah. So let's go with that one. Where do you want to head next here, sir? Oh, jeez. How much bourbon have you had, sir? And that's the answer. What are we going with here, sir? Is this the blackened?
I think I was right about here.
Oh,
so, yeah. We've had a good night.
Is that the blackened?
That is the blackened.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I got to figure something out because although I do need to show you a bottle that I had a coworker who recently left the company to move on to another company, and actually got for me a bottle of bourbon before they left, and that was
lovely.
Very unexpected. I will show you the bottle at the very end of the show.
All
right. Next match on our list, at least, don't know if this will be the actual order or not, is the women's 2025 Money in the Bank ladder match featuring Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vaquer. So we have, this is a tough one, man. Like there's not a good answer here. There are multiple good answers here.
I'm glad we started off with like a one-on-one match because this one has me as flummoxed as your Christopher Walken intro. Like I'm
as confused as a baby raccoon.
I am. I was telling after I finished watching Smokey and the Bandit the other day, I turned to Kim because she had stumbled into the room and was half watching and then half browsing Instagram. And I was like, that is an American classic. I was like, Jackie Gleason's best line delivery in that movie. I was like, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
My favorite of all of them is when he says, nobody makes Buford T. Justice look like a possum's pecker. and no wait, and then Junior says, well, except, and then without missing a beat, Jackie Gleason's like, shut your ass. Just like, it's because it's that admission, like, I know you've got the goods on me and keep it quiet.
Yeah, right.
Keep it to yourself. I love, because it's not like he's even yelling at him. He's just very quietly like, shut your ass. I just love that. Anyways, how the hell do we get there?
I don't know, sir. You
baby raccoon one.
Yeah.
Man, this one's a tough one because there is a lot of possibilities here. So, I mean, the Money in the Bank, you get a shot now at either champion, right? World champion.
Yes.
And there's plenty of options here for, taking out Stephanie because she just got there. Rhea Ripley would certainly like a shot so she could get at Io Sky. Naomi would certainly like to get at anybody because she's just a meanie now. Roxanne and Julia just want to get at somebody because they're up and coming. And Alexa, well, is she going to join the Wyatt Six and, that sort of thing? Who knows? There's a lot going on here. I'm just hoping that none of these ladies end up hurting themselves here because they're all incredibly talented and the women's division can really use all of them. So that's my primary concern in this one is like, dear God, just everybody come out healthy. Pretty please. Man. Oh, I went first on the last one, so now you're in the unenviable position of going first on this one, sir.
All right, I am going to I'm going to take a risk here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go with La Domina, Stephanie Vaquer. And because this is a Money in the Bank match, I'm guessing we're going to venture in the 4-5 zone here because we don't have, like all these ladies
with authority
bring a little something to the table.
God, yes.
So I'm guessing this is going to be a 4-star affair here with the ladies. So I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer.
My instinct here
is to copy me. I understand.
No,
I understand.
My instinct here is to go with Rhea Ripley, just because it gives you the easy,
Yep.
However, the thing is, does she need it? No. Like, Rhea doesn't even need a title right now. She's pretty much in the CM Punk tier of the WWE pantheon right now. Like, she don't need a title. She don't need a thing. She don't need that. All she needs to do is step out, to that music, and people lose their fracking minds. That's it. So I kind of think she's out. Alexa?
Which means you're going to pick
Alexa. I think Alexa is the most interesting kind of dark horse in here, because if you do wind up somehow catapulting her into the Wyatt Six, having them have some sort of control over this becomes very interesting in terms of what you do with that women's division and whoever they set their sights on. However, I don't necessarily think that's the thing. I actually feel like it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be Stephanie. Even though I kind of like that idea, I just feel like she just debuted. It would be a little bit early to give her that. Even though, I mean, the fact is, like, she held both titles in NXT and quite successfully, and she has that.
And now imagine that sort of talent with a title shot in her holster.
The thing is, and that is the thing, though, that I feel like she's not Rhea Ripley tier, but she ain't that far behind, where she just has that bit of charisma where it's like, do you really need to have that, where she carries that suitcase around for however long? I don't think she does. I think, if anything, Roxanne, Julia, or Naomi does more than the other three. Because even though Alexa doesn't have a lot going on, she's still got an aura. Like, people just like her. People react to her.
I honestly don't get Roxanne. I'll be honest with you. I am nonplussed by her through and through.
But the thing is, she was big in NXT. I mean, they felt strongly enough about her to push her there,
and that's fair. But I don't get it. It isn't resonating with me.
I almost feel it's down to Julia and Naomi. And it's weird because I was so like, okay, Naomi's got to go, to now it's like, oh, okay, this is starting to work.
Do it.
You know what? Let's give it to Naomi.
Wow.
Let's go with an agent of chaos. What the hell? Because the thing is,
star rating, sir.
I actually feel like you might be right. So I'm just going to go completely the opposite direction.
All right.
Actually, you know what? My gut's telling me I'm wrong. Let's go with Julia.
Okay.
Even though Naomi would be a very interesting, I think Julia's kind of the one that it's almost like the Tiffany Stratton treatment, I'm going to go 4.5 stars in this. I think this is going to be this is going to be the match of the night.
Uncle Todd is going long on this one.
Yeah, no,
Very nice.
Yeah.
Any side bets?
No, because honestly, I am hoping and fervently praying that we don't get interference. I don't want interference in this. I just want a good straight up ladder match with these ladies just going to town.
I'm going to put one that the Wyatt Six will appear to help Alexa Bliss.
I could see it, but I hope it doesn't happen.
Okay. All right, so I am going with Stephanie Vaquer, 4.25 stars. Uncle Todd's going with Julia for 4.5 stars. And we now move on to the men's 2025 Money in the Bank ladder match.
Anyone but Solo.
Solo Sikoa. L.A. Knight. Can I get L.A. Knight?
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. Seth Franklin Rollins.
Yes, thank you. Please.
Penta, Andrade, and El Grande Americano.
In a way, I kind of want Solo to win this.
That actually would be kind of interesting with him having the briefcase and holding it kind of not over Jacob Fatu, but it feels like they're kind of in like a competition, if you will,
because I think that there is a chance in the next year Jacob Fatu is contending for a world title.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody around there has a pulse and a pair of ears and is listening to the crowd, like,
you feel me?
That could be very interesting. Although it's more for me, it's more comedic effect. So it's not going to be Solo. God, I hope not. I could see it being Seth. You know what I mean? Like, because he is out to get a world championship, like that all makes sense. But does he really need to get the Money in the Bank briefcase?
But you got Punk as the agent of chaos, though. I feel like Punk is going to make, and I'm going to just put it in now. Punk will interfere.
Yeah, you can go ahead and double that one for me because I think that is likely because he has already stated like that he will do whatever it takes to make sure he doesn't get it, which I'm fine with that. And he did that. He said that to McIntyre essentially too, right?
Yep. Because that will elevate their, for SummerSlam, what I assume to be will be their one-on-one encounter. Punk touched on it last night on Raw when Sammy came in and kind of was talking to him about stopping Seth, and Punk made very clearly made the point, Seth has never beaten me, and I feel like if he interferes with this Money in the Bank, if Seth is on the cusp of winning and Punk appears and stops him from winning, they are going to have a one-on-one encounter. I don't know what the stakes will be. I don't know what the stipulations will be, but I feel like the two of them are going to have a SummerSlam match where one of the overriding themes is you have never beaten me.
Yeah, no, and I think that'd be a beautiful thing to build towards.
And I think that's going to be a great storyline going into that match. So I don't think it's going to be Rollins. So let's see.
Wait a minute, am I going first or you going first still?
You're going first on this one. I went first on the women's match, so I will hold off from saying anything.
And the weird thing is, like, it's all dark horses here except for Rollins and Knight. Because, I mean, do you really give Solo this shot? I mean, we already kind of test drove Solo as like a main baddie, and everybody's like, no.
But I mean, the fans don't want to see Solo with the championship. So what's their reaction going to be if he does cash in and win?
Yeah, but
they're going to boo the hell out of him.
But it's not real heat. To me, it's not go away heat yet. It's within sniffing distance. It's within sniffing distance because it's like it didn't take Jacob more than like a few weeks to start overshadowing Solo.
Yeah.
Once you got through the whole OTC versus, Solo thing. Andrade, like in a way, like I if only, because I think he's a really good performer, that'd be great, but he has like there's no reason there. I think he's going to make this match very interesting for sure. I think he's a great person to put in this match because he can elevate so much of what's going on and throw in a high spot out of nowhere because the guy's stupid athletic for someone of his size. My God, he's doing moves like Rey Mysterio should, like a foot and a half taller. Maybe not that tall, but still. Makes me think of Once Upon a Time in Mexico where there's like they used to say he was the biggest Mexican ever. He's maybe 5'8", 5'9" tops. But anyways, El Grande Americano is kind of tempting because I could see like they're trying to go so old school heel there. Tactics, that it's like I could see them trying to use that as a thing and turn it, but I don't want to see it like that is where my desires overwhelm my sense of the business where I'm like I just don't want to see that played for comedic effect. It's already a comedic angle, so let's not do that. Penta is the intriguing one because obviously this is someone that is getting a humongous reaction. They really they keep putting him in these positions to elevate him and elevate him and elevate him. But does he need it at this point? And has he really have they built him to the point where that's a possibility? I'm going LA Knight. Screw it.
You know, honestly, that's the same conclusion I was coming to, is that I wonder if, given the storyline with Punk and Rollins, given the fact that Sikoa may not have the juice, given that Penta and El Grande Americano are probably heading toward, you know, some sort of face-off as well, and Andrade just...
I could see Penta, El Grande, and Andrade kind of almost being like a three-way sort of feud.
Yep. I mean, I like Andrade. He brings a great energy, and the thing that
he's got a great look too. Like,
he has a great look too. Yeah. The thing that I guess I feel for him on is I don't know that the fans connect with him in the same way.
Yes.
Whereas LA Knight has a clear, where LA Knight has a clear following. I'm going to go with LA Knight as well as a winner. What's your thought on star rating?
Here's the thing: like, this could be high spot heavy, and then in between it could be just dull as watching paint dry. That's the thing. Like,
confused as a baby raccoon.
The thing is, like, I look at some of these guys, I'm like, okay, I can see a couple of them working together well, but then I'm like, there's a few times where I'm like, there's a clash of styles going on here that is...
I mean, you got half the card is Lucha Libre, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but then you've got Solo, LA, and Seth, where you're like, what the hell are those guys going to do with those guys? I could see Seth working that, but Solo? All right, as long as he's just getting the snot kicked out of him, I guess. I'm going to go a little conservative on this one and say 3 3/4 stars. I think there's going to be a lot of high spots, but I could see the story of the match suffering because of those high spots and just trying to set them up. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go 4-0.
All right.
We go 4-0.
You are the optimist of the two of us. I'm sorry, sir. May I call a 30-second timeout?
Please.
The spin drifts are getting to me, so I will rejoin you in a moment.
Nature calls.
And I got an answer.
A few minutes later.
And we are back. Where are we at here, sir? Are we at...
Oh, wait a minute. We got to do side bets for the men's match. Any side bets to speak of outside of Punk interfering to take Seth Franklin Rollins out of the picture from winning?
I mean, do we think that, what's his face there? Mateo, JC, whatever. Do you think he's going to... I mean, because Solo is that guy.
He is.
Are we going to get... Yeah!
That would be kind of funny to see Tama Tonga come back. Yeah. What are we saying here? So what? JC Mateo interferes on Solo's behalf?
I think one of the second tier Samoans will be the Samoan B team will be interfering on behalf of Solo.
The wise man called them the Tongans. Now come on, put some respect on that.
Well, I know, but it kind of all falls under the umbrella.
So JC Mateo or the Tongans.
Actually, I don't want to say that because aren't these Haku's kids? I don't want to piss off Haku. Haku doesn't even know who I am, but I still don't want to piss him off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the respect Uncle Todd has for Haku.
You know, say his name and he'll appear. Maybe, you know, I believe in Joe Hendry, but say his name. I don't want Haku to appear. And if he does, I'm hoping that I have the proper spirits to welcome him. Be like, all
right,
Haku, so would you care for bourbon?
I'm writing this as JC Mateo, Tama Tonga, or Tonga Loa will interfere on Solo's behalf.
Yeah, because I don't think we're going to see Jacob, right? I mean, they're trying to kind of like put a little buffer in there, right?
Well, we might, because Jacob was screwed out of his slot by Solo.
Well, but then he'd be interfering not on Solo's behalf.
Fair enough. But do we want to make a statement about Jacob? Is he going to come in and screw Solo out of the Money in the Bank? I'm actually going to put that in because I think you're right.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends. Like, because essentially then that is the turn. Do you want to do it here?
I think so.
Sure, why not? I'll take a piece of that action.
Throw me in. Why not? All right. That brings us to. Oh, actually, wait a minute.
Put me down for $5. I'm good for it.
I'm just going to put this in. El Grande Americano
Don't say he's going to use a loaded mask.
tries to use the loaded mask during MITB.
Of course he is.
Great.
Go ahead and throw
Join
that
the
one in for
action
me.
then.
Put me down for that as well.
All right.
So I'm now throwing that one in self-defense.
Okay.
So
LA Knight says yeah. Actually, we should put a bet on this. LA Knight does his middle rope to top rope elbow drop without an issue.
let's not jinx him, all right?
I hear
We're
you.
both hoping for the man to get his run at the top before
that is fair.
The clock runs out, okay?
That is fair.
We should do nothing but wish him the best.
That is right. That is right.
Is there anything else here?
Should we
got
throw
CM
anything
Punk?
in about Charlotte Flair interfering on behalf of Andrade?
Hey! I mean, they did turn the Matt Hardy Edge Lita thing into a money drawing angle. I mean,
Tiffany Stratton appears to help Andrade
what would be this
on
is so
principle.
bad. What would be bad is if like Charlotte came down and he was like, "Who are you again?"
Oh,
and leave people to speculate. Is it because of the latest, alterations, dude? I mean, I'm sorry, but like, why Charlotte? Why? Like,
yeah.
The thing is, like, I feel like, anyways, I have a whole rant about the women's division that I'm just like,
I know
genericity.
All right, let's move on to the main event.
Please.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and main event, Jey Uso taking on John Cena. I'm sorry, Plain Jane John Cena and Logan Paul. All right, you have selected the winner for the last match. I'm going to go with Cody and Jay on this one. I think they're going to come out victorious. I think it's going to lead to a build towards a Cody versus John Cena world title match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, and it also sets up for a Jey Uso Logan Paul main event, which I'm not sure how excited I am for that.
Yeah. I do have a side bet.
Okay, go right ahead.
The Rock appears.
Oh, for
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm really hoping this is a reverse jinx attempt on your behalf, because if it's not, we cannot be friends anymore.
Interfere in the match. Actually,
Travis Scott, if anything.
Pardon me for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go back to the women's match. Nia Jax appears.
No, you did not.
To interfere in some way, and Uncle Todd's cholesterol goes up.
That's it. You're shut off. I'm putting the X on your hand right now. Is that an actual bet? You putting that down? Are you actually putting that down?
I'm going to put Nia Jax appears in some way to interfere. Yes.
Like what? She's in a skybox or something? Like,
I don't care. She interferes in the match. I'm just saying Nia Jax appears to interfere. I don't know how she's going to appear.
In self-defense, put that down for me as well. But I want it noted by the court stenographer that it is done under protest.
You just trying to stay in alignment with me? Is that what you're trying to do here?
Yep, pretty much. And I feel dirty for it.
Damn you for making me feel dirty. All right. Take it to the main event, sir. What is your winner here? I'm saying Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. What say you?
I'm kind of leaning that direction, although I wonder if there's more juice to it if we get a Cena Logan Paul, like another unhappy ending. And it continues the idea of Cena ruining wrestling, and maybe even trying to get Logan Paul under his wing. Like, yes, this is it. Like, we should ruin it. Like, because at the same time, like, this is an interesting little twist. Like, if Cena kind of took Logan Paul on as his protege, like, like, what is wrestling even to you anyways? Like, you were famous before you even came here. Like, you're doing them a favor.
Right.
Like, we should just rip this whole thing down, and you'll still be famous, and I'll still be the greatest of all time, and we can wreck this. We can go down in history as the people who just burned professional wrestling to the ground. I can kind of see, like, that being the ending that you want. And to then being like, either there's a vanquishing at SummerSlam, or I do also see the idea of like Cody and Jay winning, and then the massive disappointment being at SummerSlam, where Cody challenges and loses, and Cena retains.
Yeah.
And Jay and Logan Paul wins from Jay, and then you now have this, two-man power trip version 2.0 as the top two, and they're like, yep, and we're going home with these. However, I wonder if that's, again, a little too cute, as I've said before in other things, where it gets a little too fanfic, fanboy, fangirl, E.
So what are you picking?
I feel like Vizzini and Princess Bride. Like, clearly cannot take the glass in front of you. What's going to draw money? I feel like I think you're right. I think it's Rhodes, Jey Uso here, and then that leads to the challenge at SummerSlam. That leads to a bit of a disappointment, because again, we know Cena has to go until the end of the year. Like, we've got to figure out some way. Sure. And there's going to be a redemption. Like, there has to be some sort of redemption at some point. I think that's going to come at Survivor Series.
Okay.
Somehow, some way.
All right.
Because then that gives you enough time to get to December, and Cena can go out as a good guy, and everyone's like, yay.
I'm going to go 3.75 on this.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna be optimistic.
Particular reason for that? Oh, and that's optimistic. I thought that would be conservative on your.
Well, because I feel with the concoction of Logan, Cody, Jay, I think we can get there. John is clearly older, but brings the star power. I feel they have a concoction here for a close to 4-0 star match, but I don't think they're going to get there. So,
okay.
I mean, the minuses here are Jay's limited moveset, John being a bit older.
Hey, they pull out that suplex.
Cody and Logan are probably the two that can put on a pretty interesting match.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like with the mix of it, it feels like it could be an upper 3-star sort of thing, but not quite into the 4.0 range. But I could be surprised. So
all right, I'm going to agree with you, but I'm doing it more as a like I'm managing expectations.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go with that. And let's see here.
For a side bet, I'm going to say The Rock appears during this match or after. That's the bet. You gonna take it? Want that action?
I'm repulsed by the idea. I hope The Rock just doesn't appear ever again. Because I feel like this time if he shows up, he's going to have like a bottle of Terramana and be doing like a snake bite off him.
I'm going to do one more. R-Truth appears to convince Cena to turn to the light side of the Force.
All right, I'm going to take The Rock appears after this match or after. Add that to mine. I'm going to also add on to mine Travis Scott appears before or after the match, or during or after the match. Even though I don't want to hear that Fiend song ever again. It's not even a song. It's just like a sample. It's not even like it. I don't even know if you can call it. Is there any structure to it? Anyways,
I just remember hearing Logan Paul saying, "If I have to listen to that song one more time," that cracked me up. When Logan Paul is annoyed, you know you've done your job. So, just saying.
done your job or just cracked the universe.
Yeah.
It's a thin line.
Fair enough.
Anything else? Because I mean, who else we got? I mean, we've got Roman Reigns interfering, but we also know that Roman Reigns is only going to work like what 6 nights this year.
That's a really good point. So let me think about that.
Do you think he's really going to show up? If anything, I think we see Jimmy Uso before we see Roman Reigns. Is it Big Jim Uso at this point, or is that what we're going with?
So if Roman comes back, though, it is Big Jim. If Roman comes back, it's going to be in response to Seth.
Maybe that's who's going to show up on R-Truth's OnlyFans.
Could be. I'm actually going to put a side bet here for the
would be
men's
hilarious.
Money in the Bank. Say Roman Reigns will interfere in Money in the Bank to stop Seth from winning.
I feel like that's a waste. I don't know that they bring him in for that. I think it's got to be the main event. But the thing is, like,
what tie-in does Roman have into the main event, though?
That's the thing. Like,
Roman's tie is into Seth right now. His beef is with Seth.
I get it,
Paul Heyman.
but I think you have a much easier time selling CM Punk with Seth, because that's the feud that they've been aiming at for forever now, and it's got sidetracked because of injury, and they in a way they made do with McIntyre and spun that into gold.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, okay, now we can go after Punk and Seth. Like, do you really want to put another roadblock in the way of that? It's like time is a ticking, on Punk. I mean, the dude is in great shape and is doing and saying all the right things, but do you really want to delay that further to like bring Roman in? Because apparently the rumor is like Roman's kind of done at the end of this year, like the end of whatever contract he's on this year or next year. Like he's done. He's done. And for a dude who's like beat leukemia now, like what, twice, and apparently has some offers from Hollywood. God bless, man. Like, you're playing with house money. Go seek your fortune and fame. I feel like for him, it's like you have to make it a main event sort of thing. So I just don't see that there, and I don't know who you'd have. I don't know who you'd have interfere in this unless it is The Rock or Travis Scott. God help us all. I can't see Roman interfering.
For the record, I am not going with Travis Scott. I think he is done. I think they're not going with him. Oh. And the evidence is that he was supposed to be, rumor is he was supposed to be part of this match, and they plugged in Logan Paul. I think Travis Scott is done.
Yeah, maybe. I was still going to throw it out there because why not?
Cody got his receipt in at WrestleMania. There's no need for him to have to get vengeance for that pop in the head at Elimination Chamber. I'm just saying.
Who else could we throw in there? What absolute bat spit insane? You know what? Randy Orton.
For what?
Randy Orton interferes in the main event.
Okay.
When all hope seems lost.
I have voices in my head.
Thank you, Cartman. Jeez, I'm crow. What the hell was that?
Actually, that was way closer than I intended. No, if it was really Cartman.
I have voices in my head. They talk to me. They come at me. I have voices.
I hear voices in my head. They call to me.
And then Randy takes 20 minutes to saunter his way to the ring in an emergency situation.
Evolution.
I think that's much more likely. That's much more likely because we haven't seen him in quite a while. And that has kind of been the thing. Like, whoever John Cena defeats, even in a normal way, has to go away for like a month and a half. And I think Randy's time is about up. So why not?
Yep.
Let's go with that. Any more side bets for you, sir?
I'm good. I think I got everything out of my system.
Well, that is our official Money in the Bank preview.
Book it. And, sir, I want winners and star ratings written down after watching the event.
Oh, my gosh. Don't you start. Dude,
I'm
let me
just
tell
saying.
you, the week that I've had already, and it's Tuesday, because I've already had a month this week.
It's been a hell of a year this week.
You're going to be lucky if I just show up to record next week, all right? If I'm pulling stuff out of my back pocket, you just keep your mouth shut and know your role. Actually, that's too mean. I'll tell you what, I could make this pick, or anyways. So,
whoa,
sir,
whoa, player.
What do you have? I noticed neither. Oh, there you go. What do you have for and another thing as a suggestion for our listeners / viewers?
I decided to pull out of the archives, if you will, CM Punk Best in the World on the Peacock.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Indeed. It is, I don't want to say it's outdated, but it is a bit, kind of in the past of Punk's time in WWE. It is, his career up until probably about 2012, 2011 or so when he was world champion. But just, I mean, probably one of the better, and I've done this before as my and another thing, but one of the better documentaries about a wrestler. Very fascinating, very interesting. Love the way they cover his career, cover who he is, where he's from in Chicago, his journey through the independents into what this is really before NXT into their farm system, and then into the main roster, and just the battles that he had to go through just to get some measure of respect and recognition as a champion. And so I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it. Great background on his history and his time in WWE, and so if you've never seen it before, I would just highly recommend it. CM Punk Best in the World on the Peacock.
And when I was watching that originally a couple years ago, when I first got a Peacock subscription, actually that might have been a WWE Network. Yeah, because it was before he came back. It was shocking to me. I'm like, this was made while Vince was in charge?
Yeah.
Because he is not exactly 100% complimentary.
They go into his whole pipe bomb promo and everything. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Which is like, whoa, okay, this is kind of interesting. No, it's a great documentary. And also it's kind of comparing who he was then, which, I mean, this is not that long before he left the company, to who he is now is kind of a very interesting kind of A/B sort of test.
Yeah.
So I would second your pick, sir.
Very nice. I think Jay and Silent Bob would have something to say about your and another thing.
Oh, don't you never say an unkind word about the time. So my and another thing is It's About Time, the 2004 live album from Morris Day. Legally, we can't call it Morris Day and the Time because the estate of Prince was upset about that. However, it's Morris Day and the Time. This is a great album because this is like all the greatest hits. I mean, good God, you got The Bird, Jungle Love, Gigolos Get
Don't ever say an unkind word about Morris Day and the Time.
No. I'm a smooth. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to finish that one.
that entire sequence in front of the store is just iconic. I just love that. Absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But yeah, Morris Day and the Time, such a great band. Kind of made their debut. Kind of a Prince creation that takes on a life of its own. So many of these songs are kind of Prince tunes that were handed to Morris Day and the Time, and several of them that Prince would perform regularly, like The Bird and Cool, are songs that were definitely in Prince's playlist and were up for grabs when he would play concerts. But it's just great because Morris Day, dude, just like he plays that character. Like, here's a dude who lives the gimmick, like we appreciate in wrestling. Dude lived the gimmick of just this guy who is cooler than cool, hipper than hip, and just the way he kind of like moves on stage. It's just amazing. And the songs, you can make a case that like, oh yeah, they're all kind of the same and they're somewhat one note. It's like, yeah, and you know what? That one note is badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like that groove, I don't care if it is one chord the entire song. kiss my ass. That is one hell of a chord they're playing. Listen to that groove. Listen to that beat. You tell me that isn't cool? Just a great album, especially this time of year. Once we get into summer, it's just great to go blasting around as you're driving. So many good songs. You got some ballads. You got some mid-range stuff. Then you got some stuff that just friggin' tears your face off. some stuff that's just got an edge and guitar solos to it. So yeah, Morris Day, It's About Time from 2004. I'm going to link to the Apple Music version, but I'm sure you can find it on other platforms as well. And as far as I know, Morris Day is still out there doing it today. And that man is not a spring chicken, but he's still in the game. So good on you, Morris. You just continue to funk it up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to bid adieu. Ah, yes, parting is such sweet sorrow, but, we got to do it because we got day jobs. This stuff don't pay the bills. So thank you all for listening. We do so appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to become part of the Free Range Idiocy congregation, become one of our listeners, you can do it in several ways. You can go to freerangeidiocy.com. You can find all of our episodes there. You can download them one by one, all at once. You can subscribe to the Podbean app. Now, if you say to yourself, Uncle Todd, I'm on page 6 of my iPhone apps. I don't need any more in my life. Well, that's fine. You can find us on any of the major podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts. I almost said Google, but we killed that one off. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, all of the major platforms. Go ahead and search Free Range Idiocy. Chances are we're there. We are widely distributed. Quite honestly, we just whore ourselves out to whoever will listen. That's just the truth of the matter. You can also find us in full video on YouTube and on Spotify. You can find us on the social medias. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on the YouTubes, as I mentioned. All of those are at Free Range Idiocy. Make sure to follow us, like us, subscribe, whatever the friggin' thing is. We're old. We don't know how all this stuff works. If you have any thoughts, concerns, if you'd like to suggest a topic for the show, hey, we run out of ideas too. Send those to Tim at freerangeidiocy.com and he will get back to you forthwith, heretofore, ASAP, PDQ. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to turn over this show to, well, there's no nicer way to put this, the least idiotic of the two idiots who run this show. I know it's a very low bar to clear when you're dealing with me, but he clears it with a plum and perhaps even a peach. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who we all call Tim, but not before I ask the second most important question in all of human history. The first, of course, being what is hip. The second being, the high holy hell did we learn this episode, if anything?
We have learned the following.
Oh, I'm always so happy when you have a list.
We have learned...
It gets me tingly.
That Christopher Walken and R-Truth leads to... What's up? We've also learned that Free Range Idiocy is 100% in the bag for Ron R-Truth killings. He is a national treasure, and no one shall argue any other way in this particular topic.
The man they call Tim was only fan number 1 on that page.
Amen.
He jumped right over there.
And amen.
He is the sole possessor of Ron Killing's feet pics at this point.
Indeed. I might even be Big Jimmy. Who knows? Nonetheless.
You're really just taunting me today. You're just trying to
like, you son of
push me over the edge. I'm trying my hardest to make this a family show. Like, we've already dropped F-bombs. You're just trying to get me to go to that place where blue as blue can be.
I don't know. We have also learned that Free Range Idiocy has high hopes for the women wrestlers at the 2025 Money in the Bank. With Becky Lynch becoming an Intercontinental Champion and Stephanie Vaquer and Julia potentially winning.
Whoa, play. I'm bullish on the Money in the Bank match. I'm a little...
All right.
We'll see on the IC belt match.
All right. We've also learned that Free Range Idiocy is a little less clear on men's Money in the Bank match. We have a feeling this may be LA Knight's year. but it is unclear. And but we are very bullish on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso taking it to John Cena and Logan Paul. We've also learned that Uncle Todd is highly, highly anticipating Nia Jax and The Rock making their triumphant returns at this event. And he is 100% in the bag for this to happen. They also mentioned that Uncle Todd is a big fan of Nia Jax and The Rock and is a supporter through and through. My goodness, someone's having fun with the soundboard. Good Lord. Oh, boy. I feel better now. I'm glad you feel cleansed. With all that being said, thank you for the listenership, as always. And as we like to close things out, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now. See ya.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you.
So say we all.
So say we all.
I love Uncle Corny with the last word, baby.
It does help. It does help.
It does. So how are you going to close this out here? What music are we going out on here? What is the vibe? What is the feel? What is the that you're feeling? Ah, there we go. Can't go wrong with this one.
Should have left it in the vault.
You should have left it in the vault.
We done did it.
Chaos, you should have put this one in the vault, man.
Should have put it in the vault.
They not ready. They don't know what's
We're not
coming,
ready.
man.
I blame Chaos for this.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
Hit it.
Ain't ready for none of this.
Come on, bring it.
Then we invading the streets, make them clap a rapper skirt. They be dropping the heat, shock the world. Now I'm standing alone. I flip fools like them clamshell cellular phones.
Film, John.
Nod your head to the track. The water down rap, we be taking it back. Give it to me straight. Ain't no chasing it. Check yourself in the mirror. Ain't no facing it. Cause you playing the role and you planning to fold. It's the master plan. We got
It's a master plan, you know.
We all over the streets like your favorite sneaker. Breaking up your sound like a drive-through speaker. Everything that I be spitting is strong. After I rock, fast forward through the rest of the song. We the monkey wrench that's gonna ruin your plan. And don't
there we
John
go.
Cena, I'm a bad
He's a bad man.
In my hands, I'm a bad man. Even in a fight with my hands, I'm a bad man. Living in the streets all my life, I'm
Even
a
with
bad
Logan
man.
Paul, he's a bad man.
I'm a bad man.
Now get the hell out of here!